Alright, hello stream. Been a little while. And try to just come back like nothing happened. I don't know. I took a couple weeks off, I guess, of streaming. Partly because I was just getting really frustrated with poker. Went on a big losing streak. Not that big. Like, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 buy-ins. And clawed my way up a little bit. Won about 1.5 buy-ins back. So we're about 3 buy-ins away from our goal of 150 now. I was also just playing a lot of Satisfactory, which was a lot of fun. Almost got my nuclear power plant going. And so didn't really stream any of my Satisfactory playing because it was usually at weird times. And so yeah, we are gonna just try to have fun on the stream today. Hopefully not too much pressure, but also just try to play good. I don't know. I think I've just been trying to get back into studying, and so hopefully we'll be able to make some good decisions here and play good poker. That's the goal for today. If we lose money, it's all right, but the goal is to try to keep what we've been learning in mind and learn some more if we need. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So we got... Oh, man. Okay. Computer's wanting all my attention. All right, here we go. So just pulling up my notes here. But yeah, with an ace-7 offsuit facing a raise from the cutoff, I'm not really thinking that we want to be in this too much. Well, yeah, our chart says let it go, so we'll let it go. Been trying to make my way through, you know, one of the things is like I was on my big losing streak, and part of the reason was like I just wasn't putting enough time into studying. So trying to split time between studying and playing as best as I can, 50-50, and figured I just wouldn't stream until I at least like put in a few more hours of studying. So yeah, did some studying, trying to make our way back and just put our toes back in the water here. I'm not sure how great we'll do this time around, but we'll try. Try for at least net positive by the end of the day. That is the goal. Yeah. I got a new video card. Of course, doesn't really help with poker. That's or I mean, I guess it helps, but my old video card did fine. With a 8 ace in the small blind against a cutoff open, I think we let this go. I mean, if we let the ace-9 offsuit last time go, we're definitely letting this go. So just trying to be patient, trying not to sweat it too much. Wait for a good hand to play. Play that. 9-6 offsuit, we will not play. One of the things I've been learning, like, been learning into kind of betting post flop and kind of grappling with the idea of like not betting if you are expecting the other person to only have better hands than you, or you know, if the idea is, I guess the idea is that when you bet really big, it's likely that the only people who are going to call are people with better hands than you. So you want to make, when you think you have a really good hand, you want to, you know, your value betting shouldn't be unreasonable. And it also means that, you know, on the flip side of that, some people will try to bet just to force a fold, when in reality that you're only going to force folds from people with worse hands than you. And so it's kind of like a I don't know, just like a big error in poker that beginning poker players make is the idea of like betting to force a fold. Instead of like over betting, you should probably just like do a moderate bet. The idea is that, you know, like if you're, hey, thank you for the follow, the sports and music man, appreciate it. We're on a little bit of a delay here, so you'll probably see this in a little bit after you follow, but thank you. We're gonna let that go, and we'll just yeah, keep chatting about the Streets of Value idea concept. So basically, like if you are kind of like if you are panicking and like bet panicking. Yeah, sports and music man. I will check out your channel for sure when I get done with this. Thanks again for the follow, man. So a lot of times if your opponent is gonna fold, then you're not gonna win anything more. So you're losing equity by kind of panic betting. And you're also just losing equity because everybody who is going to lose to you is going to fold. And also, I guess at some point it becomes a little meta where people know that that's a mistake and they spot it and they're able to kind of exploit it. And so yeah, so the idea is that like when you are panic betting, like it becomes obvious, and when your holding becomes obvious, you're gonna lose because they're just gonna respond with the correct action, right? So instead, when we have like a made hand, we want to think about how to get to showdown, because that's really when our value is realized, right? I guess, or I guess that's the only time that a good card actually matters, right? If you can have crap cards, or like I guess anytime before showdown, you just have 2 face down cards. Hey, 64 Ninja, thanks for watching the stream, man. Appreciate it. It's been a little while since I've been on, but finally had some time to rest and relax today. So figured I'd get on after a couple week break. We are trying to wait out for good hands, and we just have not been getting any good hands yet. So we're just chit-chatting about some more studying I've been doing, the idea of Streets of Value. Yeah, so basically in conclusion, you make money in poker when your holding is ambiguous. And so if you are panic betting, it's and just bombing the pot as soon as you make an amazing hand, and you know, not betting any other times, or then your holding is no longer ambiguous. I think that's something I've been guilty of. I think especially when I feel like I'm in a tight spot and I will panic bet to get out of a bad bluff, basically. So instead I should be maybe either making a moderate bet or just getting out of the way, getting out of the pot. Yeah, so queen 6 here offsuit to a raise from under the gun. We're just going to let this go. Queen 6 offsuit's just nowhere near good enough. Alright, and Jack 4 also not good enough. So let's see, what else have I been learning about? Yeah. I'm just looking at my notes here. I'm trying to decipher them. A targeted range of hands is the list of hands you're focusing on when you develop your strategy. Focus your thinking effort on just a small few hands to target value bet. So that's the idea of when you are trying to like guess your opponent's holding, there's a giant range that they could have, right? And you're not going to be able to kind of strategize against every single hand that they could have in your head, and so instead you should focus on just a few like targeted hands or smaller targeted range, like essentially a useful range, and usually you want to focus on like second best hands, and the idea is that then you focus on the second best hand and you play in order to like get to showdown when you have first best hand. And you don't really worry about trash hands or hands that have you completely beat. All right, we got a 2-bet here. I think we're gonna let this go. Not quite good enough. That's something I think I struggle with, which is like building game trees in my head. I feel like I don't have enough. I'm usually like a very tactical thinker. Like if there is a coin flip in front of me, or a 1 in 3 choice, a 1 in 4 choice, I can usually make the best choice. But when it's a 1 in 20 or 1 in 50 choice, I suddenly get very overwhelmed. And poker, the game tree of poker is still pretty big, even though it's might not be as big as Pokemon Go, but it's still decently complex, and so you need I guess there's strategies to kind of work on how to kind of mentally focus on just a specific part of the game tree that you should be worried about at that best moment, right? And if you can narrow down the game tree that you're trying to think ahead on as you're playing, then you're probably doing pretty good. Yeah, I was thinking with like Pokemon Go, like if you like people who have been playing Pokemon a while are familiar with all the game types and the the interactions between all the game types. I was realizing that like as a newcomer, it can be, I imagine, kind of overwhelming. Imagine you probably deal with that with your people you're coaching, like mental tips on studying and learning. All right, this we can actually, I think, open probably at the bottom of our range, so we wouldn't really stand up to a 3-bet here, but we can open it. Let's see what happens here. And we do get a re-raise. So it is a small 3-bet, and it's not really a typical size for a 3-bet here. I think we are in position. So I think I'm okay with a call here, but probably want to get out at, well, this is an interesting hand. I don't think that the 6 or the 7 hits him very well, but we're essentially just drawing to an 8. So with 4 outs, we have about 10% chance to win here, and the pot odds are 21%. So and with no clubs, we don't have any outs for the flush. If he has a pocket pair, he probably has this beat, which he probably does have a pocket pair here, being a 3-betting, so I think we let it go. Doesn't feel great, but I don't see us having much equity in that situation when there's no clubs on the board and we really just have the out to the straight. I'm gonna check that. We'll see if we can look up how much equity it thinks we had there. It's So while we're waiting for this hand to go, I'm going to punch this hand into Flopzilla and see what it thinks our equity was. So against a re-raise range, he was small blind and he re-raised? So it says our equity there was 30%. And the pot odds were 21% that he was giving us. So now if we filter and we say that he probably, so there are no, like, with a pretty tight opening range there weren't any, and with a rainbow board there really aren't any possible open-ended straight draws, because he's not going to be like 3-betting me with a 8-9. At least I wouldn't think. So if we filter down and we filter on basically top pair or above, our equity goes down to 17%, which would make a good fold, which would justify our fold, basically. So basically, Flopzilla thinks that he had a pocket pair, which feels about right considering that we are at these low stakes and it's very rare that somebody actually presses the re-raise button. He was also a bit lower stack. He has 60 big blinds, so it's more likely that he shoves. So I think we were okay getting out of that pot. I think I'm okay with that decision. Now we do have a decent hand here. We are in big blinds, so we're out of position. We get a limper ahead of us. So the question is, do we re-raise here? Now it's possible the small blind re-raises. He doesn't, so we have a choice to check or raise here. I'm just going to raise it to 3 and see what the limper does. Okay, he calls. And we have an overpair. It is two-tone. I think I'm going to basically just underbet with a 50% pot size bet. Normally in that position, math tells you to do a 2/3 pot size bet. And now we have a full house. The fact that he called makes me think that he could have the last... if he has the last 9, he's re-raising me, isn't he? With trip 9s there? I think he is, so I think we are safe doing betting again. And it looks like he folds. Okay. I don't think that was a terribly big bet. Half size pot. He just didn't have it, I guess. Or he didn't, yeah. So there, like, I could have maybe sized down my bet in order to entice a call. I feel like half size pot was pretty small. Maybe also I could have checked to him. Potentially, and slow played it. We were the c-better there. So we were the pre-flop aggressor, so it would have been a weird line to not, or to check to him, I think. Small blind checks to us. We'll play this. It's this is at the bottom of our range, so we got to be a little careful here, especially being out of position. So we have ace-4 offsuit. We are in small blind. The big blind re-raises us. So I think we just get out of the way here. Say, nice job, buddy. Stole the blinds. Through our aggressive approach. And now we're on the button with ace-6 offsuit. Again, another hand at the very bottom of our range, but still within the range. So I am okay opening here. But again, we'll just see how much equity we end up flopping. So our nemesis on our left decides to fold this time, which is nice. Now the big blind is just debating whether to call here. I mean, it's possible he has a monster hand and he re-raises, in which case we have to let it go again. Wouldn't be very happy about that. But well, instead we get a call. It does miss us. With this board, I think we have a lot more kings than he has. So I'm going to try to scare him out of the pot. Well, I'm going to check. Oh, wow. Okay, so he definitely does not have a king. It's possible he has 2 diamonds. Possible he has... I mean, I think we're sitting decently with the ace, but we have low kicker. Our 6 like barely plays. I think I'm just going to make a small bet here and see what he does. Oh, he calls, which is interesting. So our ace-6 does play. I'm just going to check through, and yeah, he has ace-10. Okay. And we both knew we both didn't have the king, so then it was just a question of whose kicker was better. And so I think I like that check. I guess if I was trying to scare him out of the pot, I should have bet bigger. But I don't think he's, in retrospect, he's not going anywhere with the ace-10 offsuit. Alright. So we will open this. We'll open 9 kings suited. We are the only one in the pot so far. Our nemesis from last round does call, and we get a 3rd call. The flop is 7-8 queen rainbow. We do have a backdoor flush draw and I guess and a backdoor straight draw. Is that right? We would need 2 cards for the straight or 2 cards for the flush. So either way, we're at very little equity here. We just have an overcard. So we check through. We see what comes up. No help for us. Another queen of hearts. So no chance for a straight, no chance for a flush. There's, I guess, a possible chance for a kings here. So we have 3 outs to the king. But that really only gives us top pair, which is probably, well, it might be good. Top pair at this point. 6, 7, 8, 9. Not quite good enough for the straight. So instead we just have king high with the pair of queens on the board. I'm guessing somebody's going to have ace-x here that would beat us. So we're just going to just click the check fold button and see what happens. Yeah. All right, fold 5-7 offsuit. All right. So, just watching this hand here, we do have this is I guess a 2-bet pot. And wow, we would have almost had we would have had a gut shot straight draw here. Still a little dangerous. I think this hand probably favors the dealer more than the under the gun, although the under the gun, I missed whether he was the original better or not. Alright, so an ace comes up. Let's check on work. Getting comments on my Jira tickets. Gotta make sure they are okay. Cool. I submitted a change request to engineering like a month and a half ago, asking them to make some changes to send their data to my test endpoint. And of course they ignored me for a month and a half, and they were finally ready to like work on it this week. And I'm like, well, actually, I've been testing for the last month and a half. I'm actually ready to get finished testing and deploy to production. So you might as well just wait for me to deploy to production, and then we'll just send your data to production instead of staging. So they were happy with the idea of delaying their work for another week, and which I was happy about too. If they had scheduled this work like 6 months in advance, or a month and a half in advance, and there was, could be that they just said, this is your time, you get, and that's it. Alright, so we're going to fold the 8-7 offsuit. And of course, we miss out on the flopped straight. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was the right decision, right? Yeah, 8-7 offsuit is not in any of my charts, so that was the right decision in the long run. Just didn't work out for us this time. My dog appears to be barking about something. I don't know what. We had quite the well, not quite. It was a little bit of drama with the dog over the weekend. We traveled to California to visit family and dropped the dog off at a dog sitter. Who we've used like a couple times about 1.5 years ago, so it's been a while since the dog's been there. And in the meantime, the dog sitter used to own a dog, and so last time both the dogs could play all day. The dog has the dog sitter's dog has since passed. She was still happy to watch our dog, but it sounds like our dog was a little bit more clingy without a playmate. And so she texted us wondering if there's any trick to not have him bark every time she leaves the room. Which I felt bad for, that the dog, apparently our dog was so clingy that he would bark constantly if the dog sitter wasn't in eyesight. So yeah, just a little bit of drama. It wasn't too bad. So we basically, we were texting her. We're like, well, let us know if it's really an issue and we can get someone to pick him up or something. And she's like, no, it's no big deal. And so she figured out, the dog sitter lives with roommates. And so the dog sitter went to the other roommates and said, here, feed him treats. And so And so then Charlie loved all of the people in the house and not just the dog sitter. And then he was happy. Because as long as he was within eyesight of somebody who dispenses treats, he's calm. I thought it was pretty hilarious that anxiety relief in form of treats. That was pretty good. I mean, he's definitely a Cutler dog, because I'm pretty sure that's how I deal with stress, is ice cream. Alright. We will definitely open this. Let's see what happens. I suspect this is going to be one of those hands where we actually have a decent hand and nobody else does, so they're all going to fold to our minuscule bet here. But try to make it as small as we could without being unreasonable. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's just a standard bet. It's the same bet size no matter what pre-flop if I'm opening. That bet size is not that big, so let's see if somebody takes the bait. They don't. Creative problem solving, that's right. Oh, we might have another hand here. We can play Queen Jack offsuit from the hijack. A little, it's at the very bottom of our range, and we will fold to a bet behind us, unfortunately. Yeah, so apparently the dog was fine after that. And she was still happy to have dog system. She wasn't mad at us or anything, so. I think that Charlie has just gotten used to people in the house all the time over the pandemic, so I think he maybe just has a little more anxiety than usual when we leave. We used to be pretty good about training him about getting used to us leaving. Like me leaving for work, and then we would like go out, you know, for date nights and stuff and leave him. I also think that he does a lot better when you give him when you leave him in a room and there's other people in the house. He gets upset even today. But if you give him room of the house and you leave the house, he's okay. And probably just has to do with like territory and also just like the ability to like investigate all the jacks. Yeah. Well, you say that and we got pocket jacks again, so let's see what happens here. And we do get a raise from the button. So being in the big blind, we will 3-bet this with pocket jacks. Actually, I'm a little tempted to limp here. Let me look at my limping range here. We have big blind. No, this says we raise it. Let's raise it and see what happens. We get a call? Are we gonna get a second call? Or is he gonna re-raise it? Or is he gonna fold? No. Okay, so 3-way 3-bet pot. Definitely have to be careful. We are up against the big stack here. We're also in middle position. Although we are the previous aggressor, question is, do we bet the kings here? Because maybe we have more kings in our range as the pre-flop raiser. I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna bet just 2/3 pot, or sorry, 1/3 pot. Hoping to just get some calls, and maybe we set mine here for another jack. Actually, in retrospect, this might not have been a great idea. I think we are basically any pair of kings is going to call us, and we're going to lose to any pair of kings. So, and now there's a queen on the board, so I think we shut down here. Feels like a waste of money. I think the bet on the flop was a bad bet. I think I probably should have checked, even though I was the pre-flop aggressor. I don't know. I feel like our... yeah. So he's given us 20% pot odds. We basically just have 2 outs, which is only, 4%. We have very little equity here, especially with so many kings and queens in the 3-bet range and 4-bet range. So yeah, we definitely fold to this, and we let these two guys duke it out. And yeah, looks like they're all in. Pair of 7s versus pair of 6s. So 2 3-of-a-kinds. Wow. But the last card was a jack, and so we would have had the 3-of-a-kind jacks if we had called there. I don't think that would have been a good call in the long run. So it just feels kind of crummy. I'm going to put that in the replayer and take a look at that. I mean, we had 2 outs there. I don't think we normally take that bet. Okay, so trying to pay attention here. We do have some equity here in the form of flush draw. I'm gonna check through. Okay, so we do make the flush. We have... we will call here. So it's just a question of whether he has the king of hearts or not. I think I'm gonna re-raise him. I don't... Unless he has the king of hearts, we should be good. Does he have the king of hearts? No, he doesn't. Okay, so we make up some money there. Almost a three-way all-in with 3 sets. Yeah, that was probably the craziest hand we'll see today. I feel like any other time I'd make that call, it would have been a really bad call. But yeah, the jack does come in at the end. So it was 3 7s versus 3 6s versus 3 jacks. 3-way, and it was a $12 pot, which would have been 2.5 buy-ins. That would have been pretty nice. But probably I'm losing there. I mean, I'm losing there, what, 75% of the time? The pot odds to me were... Oh, it's not showing the pot odds. Let's see if I can grab it in the replayer. Oh, ace queen offsuit. Decent hand. Okay. Yeah, we were facing 27% pot odds. And we had 5% chance to win there. We're gonna call 3-bet. The flop is not friendly for us, so we'll just check this through. We do have the backdoor flush draw, but... So he's giving us 20% pot odds. We basically have, what, 6 outs? So that's 13% chance to win there. I'm big blind, he's under the gun, so he probably doesn't have any pairs there, but I think I'm going to fold anyways. Felt like we didn't have a lot of equity there. I'm gonna check on that. So our ace queen, when there's a 6-4-7 on the board, let's see what this shows. And we're gonna fold that. Well, so it shows that we had about 50% equity there with the ace queen with the 6-7-4. What did he do pre-flop? Yeah, he 3-bet pre-flop, so I think my range is about right. So yeah, that could have been a profitable call there. Queen 10 offsuit is not quite there. Let that go. So the board is 8-9-6 now with the ace. So an 8-9-6, is pretty dynamic here, just because an ace really does change things a lot. Now a third spade also changes things a lot, but looks like the pair of eights takes it. Interesting. That was a lot of betting over a pair of eights. I think I have to kind of remember that. And we're just gonna check fold this. He only bets one big blind, so he's essentially just trying to steal it here, but I don't have anything, so I'm not super interested in staying. This is not in our range. All right, finally a hand we can play. So even with an under the gun open as the button, we will 3-bet this. I should probably spend some time learning how to play ace-5. I know that it is a valuable hand, but I have a hard time actually knowing how to play it. We do flop a fair amount of equity with our flush draw here. So let's see what happens. We don't. Now we do have a gut shot. So we have 9 outs to the flush, and we also have 4 outs to the straight. So with that many outs, we will, I think, just c-bet it here and see if he decides to fold. He does. Okay. I'll take it. And that actually worked, I think, okay. I'm okay with that line. Mainly because it would have been very obvious if I had checked through on the turn, and then when the last heart came up for the flush, if I had bet again, the bet check bet is usually pretty transparent. So I think I'm okay with that small bet on the turn, even though he did fold. He does 3-bet here, so I don't think we want to cold call a 3-bet or with an ace-9. Now we are shorthanded. There's only 4 people left at the table, so we may want to consider getting up. Trying a different table here pretty soon. Here we just don't have anything. We could call like a small bet here. So what do we have here? We basically have like 6 outs. So that's 13%. And he's given us 33% pot odds. So I'm okay just letting that go. Oh. All right, so we do get new people in, so we don't need to stand up. So small blind facing a raise from the button. I think we'll let that go. Yeah, I guess the chart says we should have actually stayed in, and that was maybe a blunder because that would have paid off quite well. Actually, usually a small blind 3-betting range is pretty tight, but it looks like it does when it's a later position 3-betting and we're in small blind, our 3-betting range extends all the way down to ace-9 offsuit. Oh, ace-10 offsuit. I'm actually kind of surprised. Now, this is interesting. I think if I had 2 pair here, I would actually be sweating quite a lot. It's a very good possibility that he has a house there or a 3 of a kind. So we might have actually dodged a bullet there. Oof. All right. So we get a limp from cutoff. A Jack 9 offsuit is actually like within a limping range here. So let's try limping and see what happens. We don't get anything. We get, I guess we get a gut shot straight draw for the queen. But that's only, you know, 9%, so it's probably, let's see what, I mean, with the limping range, it's gonna be pretty big, so. And it checks around. The ace is no help to us. Let me see what, we're gonna keep checking, I guess. And now we got a pair of jacks. I think we call a small bet here. Yeah, we'll call 2. Oh, he had the ace. Okay. All right. So 6-4 offsuit. We'll let it go for the next hand. So I was actually debating turning off. So if I turn off video on demand, like saving past videos, or saving my streams on Twitch, if I disable that, can I do all the DMCA violations I want? Is that how it works? I'm not actually sure, but I was thinking it would be kind of nice to play like copyrighted Spotify playlists on Twitch, and all I have to do is just disable past broadcasts. Problem is I used to save my clips and try to like do like clip compilations and stuff like that, but I just haven't been keeping on top of that. So I'm thinking if this is just like a for fun stream and I'm not worried about pulling in traffic from like YouTube and clips, then maybe having the copyrighted audio would be kind of nice. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Problem is, I guess I would have to look at my statistics for how much traffic I'm getting on my existing videos. So let's take a look here. We're gonna fold the 9-3. So it looks like on average I'm getting somewhere around 3-ish views per video. Some videos looks like a peak of like 15 views on a single video. So it seems like, I don't know. I guess I just don't know how the bots are monitoring Twitch for copyright violations. Jack 2 suited doesn't really seem to be in a like limping range, so I think we're just gonna let it go. Yeah, I see lots of stuff about like Twitch DMCA, Twitch disable VODs DMCA. Disable past broadcasts and clips to avoid DMCA. looks like... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll try to pay attention to the actual game while we're streaming here. Just not getting any good hands right now. So we have 10-4 suited. We fold. Suddenly this table is kind of turned into a limping table. This is kind of interesting. So we get a limp and then a raise. We get a call and another call. The flop comes ace-4, 7. We would have had low pair. Probably not great. And it is going to check around to the in position low stack. He's thinking about what he wants to do on this flop. I mean, if you have an ace here, I think you're betting. And I guess nobody else has an ace, so he takes it. Could also just use voice meter or another virtual mixer to listen to whatever you want, not have it go to the stream. It's a good point. That's what I was actually doing earlier. I'm not sure if, like, does it make for a worse stream with no... Which is worse, a stream with no music or a stream with copyright-free music? I'm not sure. Ugh. I mean, King 5 offsuit's just not a good enough hand to play. Even though, I mean, we get a pair of kings, but it's monotone board, so any 2 spades already make the flush, and we would have had 5 low flush. So probably not wouldn't have been a great flop to stay in, anyways. Yeah, you know, I guess like thinking about that question, like what's better, stream without music or a stream with free music. Maybe if I'm listening to music I enjoy, I'll have more energy in order to be able to cast better. So even though the audience wouldn't be able to listen to the music, they would be able to. And that's what I was doing too. Is I was having like the listen along in my Discord, so you could still listen to whatever I'm listening to if you just do the listen along in Spotify. So I could theoretically do that again. Twitch multi channel audio. So I guess here's a question. If I just, like in normal slobs, could I just direct direct the copyrighted music to the separate channel that doesn't get recorded in the video on demand? I would suspect that those still might get dinged for DMCA, but I am not entirely sure. I'm reading about it right now. Still no good hands yet. Dual audio tracks will not save you from DMCA. Yeah. That sounds right. Because, I mean, all they have to do is just scrape the live video, and they would be able to ding you. I think I'm going to fold here. Anything on stream makes it to the VOD. You can record through OBS a version with different inputs, then goes to the stream, but the stream VODs are whatever happened on stream. Let's see if I understand that right. I think anything on stream... Well, so I think the idea is that with the dual audio track, it basically their documentation says that it's a different audio track for VODs versus stream. Let me... Twitch dual stream audio, dual channel audio. Yeah, so according to the help, you can stream music from Soundtrack by Twitch Live, while their recorded video will not include the music that was played. This is done by sending 2 separate audio streams to Twitch, one with the music and one without. So I think the idea is that, yeah, you're sending 2 simultaneous audio channels. One is sent to live and one sent to the recording. The problem is you would need you need their custom software to do the mixing right. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get it right because your voice needs to be overlaid on both audio tracks, but the music should only be overlaid on one audio track. Yeah. Why don't we split that pot? Interesting. But my thought is that just because you have the split tracks doesn't necessarily keep you, like, if you are using copyrighted audio on live but not on VOD, it still doesn't necessarily save you from a DMCA strike. It just means that you won't get a DMCA strike if they scrape the VOD, but you would still get it if they scrape the stream. Question is that what they're doing? I'm not really sure. But that is using music by Twitch. Can you do it using 2 tracks of your own music? So it looks like regular OBS has that ability. I'm reading about that right now, actually. I think the idea is that you can, so in OBS, it's going to have, like, you have, there's like this tracks option. So in my slobs, there's like a track, like 6 tracks next to each thing. Let me see here. And then I think the idea is that if you can basically assign an audio device to a specific track. But I don't actually... Now I'm kind of out of my depth. I'm not sure. So I think generally the answer is yes, it should only be by music by Twitch. But I think that they have added a feature, at least to regular OBS, to support custom audio to that second track. Yeah, so the OBS Twitter account says this release adds a second audio track when streaming to Twitch, which will be saved to the VOD instead of the stream audio. You can enable this feature in output settings when streaming to Twitch. So regular OBS does support us sending a specific track to Twitch. Or sending a second track to Twitch. I don't know if SLOBS does or not. Oh, I see audio track 1. Recording. Audio. Huh. I think I would need to, so I think SLOBS supports it, but I would need to actually like end the stream and restart it to see like where in the advanced settings that is. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Finally a hand we can play. And we're facing an all-in from the short stack at the table. The question is, do we call him or not? I mean, all the charts say to call. I'm gonna try calling. No, we do have a pocket pair, so we might actually beat him if we can fade an ace or a queen, and we do. Nice. Nice. One good hand we had all session, and we actually made some money out of it. That was nice. Yeah, so I know that SLOBS has support for the Twitch like software, but I don't know if it adds it do it yourself. Ah, here we go. Multi-track recording. Output. Oh. So in Streamlabs, you can definitely record multiple tracks, but I don't know. Let's see if you can actually output like specific track to Twitch. I think I would have to actually stop the stream and try messing with the settings for slobs to figure it out. I'm not finding a lot on Google. Eight queen, I think I'll let that go. Ace-8 in the cutoff. Oh, but we're facing a bet, so we're gonna fold. And again, we get 3-bet with an ace-x offsuit. This time, under the gun raises, and we are on hijack, so that is a pretty conservative spot, so we just have to let it go. You still should not stream copyrighted music to your Twitch account, regardless if it's live, separated using this raw track or not. You're gonna have to sit and wait until Twitch gets it all worked out, if they ever do. Interesting. Alright. So, we have a hand. We are in the big blind. King, queen off suit. So we would call this if our under the gun friend here makes a bet, which he does. We would raise it if someone later. So yeah, we'll just limp here. King queen does not help us on a 2-9-4 board. I guess we would have some range advantage being big blind here on this board, so we kind of just throw that away by checking here. But still not a great board. I can't imagine these guys have anything. So we have 6 outs and we have 16% pot odds. So our 6 outs about 13%. So we're gonna have to. Oh, and there is a straight draw on the board now. Ace 3 makes it. Any ace is basically. Any ace will make it if there's a 3 on the board. So. Yeah, I think that I would just be safest. I would feel best if I just did the, you should move to OBS anyways. Yeah, so I know I really should move to OBS anyways. I don't know. I think there was a reason I was using Streamlabs OBS. I think it was because I use the Streamlabs OBS because I get the access to the Twitch chat, and it does the multi-stream as well. I guess regular Streamlabs will do multi-stream if you really wanted to, but yeah, I think the main reason was I was using the restream, so I was able to stream to like Facebook and YouTube. And then the fact that it had like the Streamlabs will do the merged chat, and I think the big thing is like I have if I want to be able to keep track of multiple chats at once, that's actually kind of hard. So you either need Restream to do it, or you need the Streamlabs Prime. But now that I'm thinking about it, it seems like kind of a waste of money. and I should just switch to Streamlabs and just switch to Twitch only, and then just put the chat on my phone or something. That seems like the cheapest and most straightforward thing to do. Where are you multi-streaming to? Facebook and YouTube. So you can, there's like Wetfeet 2000 Gaming on Facebook that actually gets a fair amount of traffic. I mean, it has like 20 likes, so it has about half amount of traffic as Twitch. And then I'm streaming it to my YouTube as well. That doesn't get any traffic. I don't really have any reason to keep streaming there. I just started, when I very first started, I just figured I'd do more of a shotgun approach and see what worked. And then I just haven't changed it since then. So King 9 off or suited is a playable hand. In fact, I think I get more views, I get more engagements like after the fact on my VODs on Facebook than I do on Twitch, for sure. Yeah. But I'm a little dubious of like Facebook engagements. Like they have a history of lying about their metrics on their video platforms, so. I think there's like a big lawsuit, like I don't know, or like, well, I think there's a whole big thing about when they first started including videos in the newsfeed. A bunch of companies tried to like move to that as a platform, and then Facebook basically like abandoned it, and really screwed a lot of people. But they also like Facebook like abandoned it, but at the same time were like falsifying like viewing statistics. So people thought they were doing great, and they were not. So yeah, in case you were wondering, Facebook's not a great company. It's the moral of that story. But yeah, becoming just solo Twitch. Facebook puts the video where your friends and family can see it, so they may hit a thumb on it, but are they watching it? Yeah, exactly. I think like my mom is on Facebook a lot, and my mom likes poker, so she actually has watched the streams on there, which is just so weird and funny thing to say. That's like a very 2020 millennial thing to say, right? My mom watches my stream on Facebook. That's just saying that out loud almost makes me ashamed. I don't know, maybe not ashamed, but just it's weird. That's a weird sentence to say out loud, for sure. But yeah, so but I think my mom's like the only poker fanatic I know, so I think that it's pretty much just like her and maybe one or two other people that are looking at it. So I don't think there's really a reason to stay on there. Yeah, and because you think like the majority of people, like they're on Facebook to do this, right? Move mom to Twitch. Yeah. Bingo. That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. But affiliate have here prime sub to you. Yeah. Okay. Piece 5 in the big blind. I think we will. Is that a call? Yeah, that's a call. Not a great flop for us though. Yeah, I think what I should do is I should just stream to Twitch, switch to regular OBS, like stop and then I don't know. My brain's fading. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes, so I think I should probably sign off here while I'm ahead. Let's just wait until my last hand. I'll wait until I get the dealer chip, and that'll be my last hand here. But yeah, I think I think the reason I wanted to stay on YouTube. I like the idea of doing clips, like clip compilations on YouTube. I guess just the problem is I don't have time. I've done like one clip compilation on YouTube. I did it like a couple weeks ago, and it was like I compiled like the week's worth of like good hands, and then I never followed through. So yeah, I think just switching to Twitch makes a lot of sense. Twitch only. Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean putting on Twitter, but embedding Twitch clips gets way less engagement than uploading the video to Twitter. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so we have a gut shot straight draw here, but we miss any of the pairs. I think we'll just check through. And we missed the gut shot straight draw. Now we get it. So we could bet here. We could just bet big to see if he just folds. I don't think he was. I think he clicked check the auto fold button. Okay. So that's it. I think I'm gonna call it for today. Well, is the ace king in the button a playable hand? No, not to a bet. Okay. So thank you for watching the stream. Thanks for chatting, 64 Ninja. Appreciate it.